Welcome everyone to this explainer. I'm your host, speaking to you today as a tech-forward farm manager, and let me tell you, we are officially leveling up our global food supply. What we're diving into today is essentially a financial brief for potential technology investors and growers. We're unlocking the absolute cheat codes for modern farm profitability.
Okay, boom. Just look at this number, $822,500. That is the exact amount of cash Braga Fresh saved in just one single year on weeding costs across 4,700 acres, all by using next-gen autonomy. If you're managing a portfolio or looking at the future of ag tech, that number alone should have your full attention. Let's dive in.
So, level 1, the boss battle. Let's look at the actual problem.
To really understand why smart money is pouring into this tech right now, we have to face the brutal reality of legacy farming. This quote is drawn straight from Choices magazine regarding sugarcane workers. They describe 120-day seasons, 12-hour shifts, 7 days a week with literally no holidays. It's a staggering human toll, and it completely exposes why we are facing such massive, crippling labor shortages right now.
Just compare the two worlds for a second. You have the sweat, the dust, and the sheer physical exhaustion of traditional human labor up against the sleek, tireless efficiency of self-managing robotic fleets. Look, right now, over half of U.S. farm workers are undocumented. As a farm manager, when I look at the pure economic and ethical data, relying on this aging, incredibly vulnerable workforce pipeline isn't just risky, it's a massive systemic threat to our entire operation. Autonomy is the answer here.
That brings us to level 2, the precision weapon. This is our micro solution.
The thing is, we aren't waiting around for some sci-fi general-purpose robot that can drive a truck and pick an apple. The real secret we're leveraging right now is called bounded automation. We essentially narrow a machine's job down until it can interpret specific variables and execute perfectly, over and over again, without having to improvise like a human would.
And guys, farming is incredibly dirty work. You're dealing with thick dust, blinding glare, completely unpredictable terrain, but the tech has caught up. Our machines use stereo cameras to map crop geometry in real time. They use sensor fusion to literally cut right through the dust and haze, and edge computing calculates paths on the fly. Plus, the AI interprets weed pressure instantly. It doesn't need to sit around waiting for perfect data before making a move.
And the financial payoff from all that processing power is absolutely huge. By using these exact sensors, John Deere See & Spray customers are seeing an incredible 59% average savings on herbicides. We are taking that expensive, wasteful blanket application model and stopping it dead in its tracks.
But honestly, the ultimate precision weapon has to be the Carbon Robotics laser weeder. Now, I know a $1.2 million upfront price tag sounds steep, but hear me out. It slashes overall weeding costs by roughly 40%. It relies on sub-millimeter precision, which was trained on over 150 million labeled plants to shoot actual laser blasts. It literally fries weeds in milliseconds without touching the high-density organic crops. It is quite literally like watching a video game play out in the dirt.
All right, level 3, the swarm, our macro solution. The old way of doing things meant buying a single, massive 300-horsepower tractor. You had to pay a human driver, and the machine was so heavy it completely compacted and ruined the soil over time. But the new way? We're talking about a continuous fleet of smaller, highly efficient, self-charging autonomous swarm robots. We are officially transitioning from single tractors to fully managed autonomous farm fleets.
And this financial shift completely ends that old get big or get out pressure in agriculture. Just look at this data from the Hands Free Hectare deployment. That orange line represents swarm robotics, and as you can see, it drastically lowers the cost per ton across literally all farm sizes compared to those massive conventional tractors. Now even smaller operations can hit those minimum production costs. It's a total game changer.
Imagine what it's like unleashing this fleet on your property. Picture managing 400 acres straight from the dashboard of your pickup truck. With systems like Gus automated sprayers, just one single employee can comfortably monitor up to 8 autonomous machines at once. Or take Burrow's Harvest Assist platforms. They can support entire 4 to 8 person teams, and you can easily scale that up to 25 robots. And the craziest part? They're totally self-charging. They automatically align with their docks, juice up, and get right back to work. Zero human intervention needed.
I think this quote perfectly hits the nail on the head. Robots don't get tired, and they don't really care what hours they work. These machines completely remove the backbreaking physical labor from our daily farm workers.
These fleets can easily run 22 hours a day, and they never ever complain about the scorching summer heat or the ridiculously long shifts.
Which brings us to level 4, the ultimate synergy, the ecosystem.
This ultimate synergy literally starts in space. We're using Innovate UK's satellite Earth observation tools to pre-map nutrient levels and soil structure variability long before our robots ever even touch the dirt.
And here is how we build the perfect loop, where every single step feeds directly into the next. First, those satellites map crop variability from space to guide the fleet. Then, systems like John Deere's ExactShot come in and place starter fertilizer directly on the seeds, which slashes our input costs by an unbelievable 60%. At the exact same time, we've got sensors tracking livestock feed flow and biodigestates. And, as McKinsey models point out, we can even recover energy from mixed agricultural waste without any extra sorting. Basically, we are recycling farm waste and using our resources so efficiently that it creates this highly profitable, entirely self-sustaining loop.
From a management perspective, what we're really doing here is making a fundamental shift, going from having a human in the loop to a human on the loop. We're finally getting people out of doing the dangerous, repetitive physical labor down in the dirt and elevating them to safe, supervisory roles where they just oversee the automated processes. It keeps our crews safe, it directly solves our labor shortages, and honestly, it creates way better tech-driven jobs for our industry.
And that brings us to the final boss, the conclusion.
So let's bring this all together for your portfolio. We know labor shortages are only going to keep rising. We know automation is already saving growers millions in chemical and operational costs right now. So the real question you have to ask yourself is, can you afford the risk of not investing in the autonomous farming revolution? This is absolutely not some futuristic sci-fi dream. It is a present-day financial necessity. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, guys, and I will catch you on the next one.